Jack keeps getting older, but these kids stay the same age. All right. This is spoilers.
In a world where trivia games are played on a podcast, one man reigns supreme and chooses the movie, while the loser must face his punishment episode.
Oh God! Oh Jesus Christ!
This is Punishment Spoiler.
All right.
Welcome to spoilers. Who do we got here tonight? Let's go. Whoever's closest to me. I'm in Elkhart. So, Elkhart people.
I got to be pretty close to you.
I'm pretty close to you.
Go ahead, Stevie.
What do you want me to say, Mikey?
Just
What is there to say about this movie?
just where you're recording from, and if you watched the movie or if you'd seen it previously before.
Recording for Elkhart Elkhart, Indiana, and I did not watch it, but I've seen it many, many times. I knew a kid growing up, which this was his favorite movie. And I think that's half the reason. Yeah, I think that's half the reason why I hate this movie.
Is that kid a serial killer now, or is he
Logan's Story?
He owned two. He owned two movies. He owned Rocky IV and Jack. That's all he ever wanted to
He
watch.
lived in Pinecrest. What a double feature every night.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Was that a combo DVD?
Well, speaking of Pinecrest, that's just across the trail for me. So I guess I'm next closest.
Scary trail.
A drunken trail I've wandered.
It's a great trail. It connects like 3 or 4 neighborhoods, but that's neither here nor there. This is Josh. I'm in Goshen technically, and I did see this when I was a wee lad, probably around 1996 or 7. So
You were what, 13?
Oh,
yeah, actually, yeah, probably.
Brett, you're up next.
It's the first time it's landed.
this is Brett, recording from Fort Wayne. I've seen this movie a few times, but it's been a while. I definitely saw this in the theater. I was roughly 12 years old at the time, so have at it. I remember liking it, but I was a kid, so, who sucks probably.
How did you get younger than me?
A staunch
Oh.
12.
You saw it in
wait.
theaters, so you might have seen it on VHS.
It came out in 96, man.
Yeah, probably. Hey, that's accurate.
Pap? Is that Pap?
Can you not hear that?
No.
Yeah,
it
what
was
is that?
Muffled.
What are you doing?
The champ is here. That was Will Smith. The champ is here.
Dude, it sounded like you were communicating with aliens.
We'll edit
Yeah,
that in
kind of,
post.
yeah.
It'll sound
That's
much
good.
better when I edit it later. This is Pappy, and I won Oscars trivia. I picked this movie for Mikey. Or Oscars.
Such a good pick.
And I'm repaying that debt nearly 6 months later.
Yeah, we're the last Oscar reaction show to hit the market.
I was just going to say, Pappy, you have been famous for picking things specifically for the person. Is there a reason that Mikey got Jack?
Well, I had a choice.
Mikey looked like he was 30 when he was 5.
Yeah, Mikey had a choice between two films.
120 Days of
Yep,
Sodom,
120
right?
Days of Sodom or Jack, and he picked Jack. And I guess I'm curious, Mikey, are you happy with your choice, or do you wish you had picked the movie about, stuff getting shoved up people's butts?
I thought I had taken the lesser of two evils, but this was obviously the more masochistic choice. I hated everything about this movie.
Plus Bill Cosby's in it, so. Right?
Much like
Jello pudding pop.
Friend of the pod, Bill Cosby.
much like how Jack ages 4 times faster than everybody else in the world, I want to get this pod over 4 times as fast because I don't want to talk about it too long.
He's a normal kid.
I'm telling you, he's our age, but he looks 40.
He just ages 4 times faster.
So I'm big for my age.
And he's the biggest thing that ever hit the 5th grade.
How old are you?
10.
A 10-year-old doesn't shave.
Dad. Ow! Dad!
My mother's coming to meet the principal today.
So?
Well, you're going to be the principal.
Ooh, you got a strong grip. You're a manly man.
Hey, you. You shoot hoops?
Me?
No, the 40-year-old kid behind you. Put it in the basket. Yeah! Unstoppable!
Hollywood Pictures presents Robin Williams
That's my number at work. You can get me there anytime.
My mom said I shouldn't touch matches.
in the story of a boy who made every moment count.
I had a scary dream. Can I sleep in here? Of course, buddy.
Jack,
Can Jack come out and play?
Bye, Mom.
The opening scene starts off with Jack's parents. They're at a Halloween party. And we see his mom is fully pregnant. She looks like she's about to pop. They're dressed up in huge Tin Man costumes. Jack's mom is a witch. They're in full Wizard of Oz costume gear. And her water breaks and she goes into labor. We find out that Jack is born prematurely. He's only 2 months old at the time, but he's a fully formed baby when he's born. And so all these scientists do tests on him later. Was someone going to say something?
I was going to say reverse Ben Button, but keep going.
Yeah, we find out that Jack ages at 4 times the normal rate of any other human. Doctors don't know what it is. The disease progeria is thrown around, but that's not exactly it, and it's just kind of baffling them.
I'm sorry this has taken so long. Like you, we're puzzled by your son's premature birth. This is Dr. Lin. He's an infant disorder specialist from Cornell.
I want to assure you both that there is nothing debilitating about your son's condition. He's totally healthy and normal in appearance, alert and quite happy. However, his cells are developing at what we feel is 4 times the normal rate. Even though your son was only 10 weeks old when he was born, physically he was 9 months and ready to leave your womb.
We get like this scene of all these robots. I don't know what this was supposed to be, but it's like super sci-fi at the beginning. There's a bunch of robots doing tests on Jack and like poking and prodding at him. I don't know what Coppola was going for here, trying to make it look futuristic or whatever. I don't know. What do you guys think of this opening scene, and what do you think of the disease Jack has? Were you guys convinced that this could happen, or did you care? I knew I didn't care right off the bat. I hated this.
Well, I know what Werner disease is, and it's not like this.
It's like exaggerated.
Yeah, those kids die at like 13. It's super sad. They don't get to be.
Do they get old?
Well, but I mean, they have the body of like an 11-year-old, though. They don't get all Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Do they get hairy all over?
Like skin gets.
No, they don't. They're
like Robin
It's
Williams?
really sad, Pappy. You should look this up before you get even more sarcastic.
I can't stop laughing about these terrible diseases. I don't know. I thought it was so dumb. 2 months and this baby is... I mean, I don't know how medical science works, but 2 months, I don't think the baby would be fully formed or anything like that. I don't know how... CB, do you know what these kids come out looking like with this other disease? Are they... Does it take 2 months to cook a baby when these kids have this disease?
No, I don't think that's how it works.
Well, if he...
Yeah, that's not how any of this
right,
works.
but if
So
he's 2 months old and grows at 4 times, he'd be roughly 8 months when he came out, so he'd be...
Yeah, first of all, why aren't the doctors concerned way before she even gives
Yeah,
birth?
she's huge,
this
right?
This thing is growing at a...
Oh my gosh, it would tear up her body, too. As a pregnant woman, for your body to stretch out that fast, she'd be dead.
Yeah,
Wouldn't she just seeing it growing like right in front of her?
Robin Williams is an alien.
Yeah, probably. If it goes that fast.
Maybe the original idea was to have a full-grown Robin Williams come out of her vagina.
In there?
Yeah, and Coppola had to be talked back.
Pop out.
The old Jim Carrey and the rhino trick.
Well, then this like miracle of science happens, but then the doctors are just like all right, good luck. They don't try to study him or understand him or like work with him. There's no scenes of Jack at the hospital or Jack with like researchers at UCLA trying to fix him. Like there's none of that.
He takes no medicine. He's not doing any sort of tests. Literally, nobody cares at all about this medical miracle that's just happened before their eyes. And so we literally fast forward 10 years, and Jack looks like Robin Williams at this point.
40-year-old man. How old is Robin Williams really? Do we know that? I'll look that up.
When he died or when he was Jack?
I was going to say he hasn't aged in a while, so...
Well, when he was Jack.
You got someplace to be at 7 o'clock? Forget
Yeah,
it.
Rick, I gotta be at school.
7:05.
I'm late.
Get yourself out of bed. You
I'm
got
out of
a
bed,
whole
Rick.
day out there waiting for you. I know.
Yeah.
I'm living.
I'm living too, Rick.
Get to it, people.
I'm getting to it, Rick. I hate that song.
45.
We get a scene of the neighborhood kids. They're all outside Jack's enormous house. This house is crazy looking. And they're all kind of staring up at the window, and Jack is getting tutored by Bill Cosby, who makes an appearance.
Jack probably doesn't remember a lot of those
America's
sessions.
dad and favorite serial rapist.
And Bill Cosby is getting super annoyed at Jack because he's kind of messing with these kids. He's being real creepy. He's got like a fake hand.
You know what's
he's putting up
creepier
toward
than
the
Bill
window.
Cosby?
He's infringing on Bill Cosby's turf.
Bill Cosby with a soul patch. That's creepier than regular Bill Cosby. It's so much stranger to see.
Not only just his soul patch, he also had a beret in this movie.
He did.
Jack, you're not paying attention.
And so these kids are messing with Jack, or they're just staring up at him. And Jack's messing with them, and he throws out a slimy eyeball, and the kids run away. And Bill Cosby is kind of like had enough and is done teaching him for the day. I don't know. This movie is so fucking stupid. I hated watching everything.
Do you want to skip ahead to like the weird sexual stuff? Do you want to talk about?
When he was asking out his teacher.
Well,
That was weird.
I mean, I'll skip forward a little bit because really not a whole lot of stuff goes on until...
Well, it's everything you'd think that would happen. The kids are mean to him, and then he wins them over because he's big and can play basketball.
And he can buy dirty magazines.
It's like the exact thing you would expect to happen happens.
What do you guys do here all night?
Anything we want. Hey, Jack, you ever get a boner? You know, an erector.
Not yet. I'm hoping to get one for Christmas.
Nobody brought this up in the movie, but you gotta be wondering what this kid's hormones are. If he's a 10-year-old, first of all, he's jerking off all the time. Second of all, he's actually a 40-year-old, so he's jerking off way more than all the time.
But they go to like the treehouse and they talk about like, have you gotten a boner yet? And he's like, I want one for Christmas. And it's like, what the fuck? Like what? This is from the guy who directed The Godfather Part 2.
Yeah, but I read that he was really extra immature at that age because he'd been stuck in his house the whole time. So, like, super immature even for a 10-year-old.
So, Francis Ford Coppola's anti-homeschooling, hardcore. That's like the message of the movie.
I appreciate what you're trying to do. But Brian and I, we've seen how people react. We've been through this before. I just don't want Jack to have to face that.
First of all, Jack would be so weird. His mom is not letting him go to school, and that's kind of all Jack wants to do. That's like the first conflict we have is Jack just wants to go to school and be with other kids and experience stuff that a normal kid would. But his mom is super protective. His dad is actually kind of okay with it, kind of wants him to get out there and do normal stuff. But his mom just thinks that the kids will think he's a freak. Which they do at first. So Jack finally convinces his parents to let him go to school. And he knocks it out of the park on the first teacher. His teacher's J-Lo. I don't know how she ended up in this movie, but this was kind of like one of the first things I think she acted in. I don't know anything else really before, but this is definitely a weird first movie.
Is that before Das Salinas? Go ahead.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
I was gonna say, what did you think about Jack being hot for teacher, Mikey?
This is such a weird movie. I don't understand why Francis Ford Coppola made this movie in the first place, but also if you're going to do the whole older looking student who's actually young, just avoid this, because you're really touching on some really sensitive stuff nowadays. It's like, you don't really want to endorse pedophilia, but that's kind of what this movie is doing, I guess, is my take on it. It just seemed like such an obvious thing to put in the movie that you could have skipped.
Miss Marquez, I was thinking that maybe if you didn't have anything to do, that you might want to go to the dance with me. It'd be really, really fun.
Oh, Jackie.
So you want to go? My mom will drive us.
Jack, you don't want to go with me. I'm an old lady.
But that's why. That's why I want to go with you. I can't go with the girls my age because I look so much older than them.
What do you think about the pedophilia in this movie?
It's creepy as shit. Like, this whole movie is all around creepy. Like if that would have worked out with Jennifer Lopez when he asked her out, like, was he taking Viagra at this point?
Francis Ford Coppola or Robin Williams?
No, Robin Williams.
Bill Cosby? Which one are you talking about?
Oh. He's taking... Yeah, no.
The old Billy Cocktail. Yeah, I don't know. This movie's all around creepy, and it's an unnecessary movie. Because they could have taken, like, a real-life look at Werner's disease, and they turned it into Robin Williams going for an Oscar. Just was not great.
Jack, you are my student, and I'm your teacher. And teachers and students don't go to dances together. Do you understand that?
But it's so clearly not an Oscar movie. Brett, what did you think?
Of the pedophilia or the movie?
Just either.
Do you think this movie is an endorsement for pedophilia? That's what I...
No, I don't. I just think it's a little extra weird because obviously 10-year-old kids do find some of their teachers attractive and stuff, and it's just like putting it extra weird, like on steroids, because...
Brett, which teacher do you find attractive?
10?
Yeah.
I don't want to say Mrs. Green. But,
oh! She does. She's not listening. Don't worry.
I was in high school. No, that was... No, I don't know. I don't remember. It's just weird. Mikey, it's weird. I mean, I think he just wanted an extra shock because, again, kids like their teachers, but like for him to actually do that, that whole thing was my least favorite part of the movie. Like when she turns him down, he runs, he falls, he has like angina and everything. Just weird.
I laughed so hard when he had the heart attack or whatever happened. I laughed so fucking hard.
That makes sense.
And so they're out at recess, and Jack is doing nothing because everybody thinks he's a freak. Eventually a basketball gets rolled over to him, and the kids in his class ask him if he could kick it over or something. And I don't even think he does that, so like right off the bat we don't even get the resolution of him being good at basketball. We gotta wait for another scene of them going back outside and playing basketball. And then he just totally dominates.
Yeah. It's like LeBron and some Cavs against the other Cavs in the scrimmage.
The most useless Cavs.
Oh, God. I hate this movie so much. First of all, he doesn't know the basic rules. I got a whole scouting report on him right here. First bullet, sucks at basketball. Second bullet, doesn't know basic rules. He plays with heart. He's a presence down low. He's got grit. You can actually shoot fairly well for never shooting a basketball before. And then he totally dominates, and then his team wins. And then his friends, the kids in his class accept him, I guess. Just being good at a sport made him not a 40-year-old man anymore in their eyes. Did you guys have anything from this basketball scene?
It looks awful. Like, I can't believe this is Francis Ford Coppola like, directing this. It's like it's got this weird overhead shot where a good portion of the right-hand side of the frame is just obscured with the backboard.
Yeah, and everything's so close. Like, you can't see everything on the court at all.
The play makes no sense. It's like confusing because they're not taking it back. They're just like scoring at will. It's so confusing. I don't know. It's bad.
We're usually pretty harsh on basketball scenes, being from Indiana and all, but
have there been any other basketball scenes in a spoilers movie?
Yeah, we've got. I mean, there's been. Wait, has there?
Have we?
Maybe we just like to talk about the NBA on the side. It's what we actually do. Let's look out for those basketball scenes. We can really break them down in the future.
Hey, you, big guy. You shoot hoops?
Me?
No, the 40-year-old kid behind you. Hey, you. You play ball?
Yeah. With my dad.
You fried? Hey, at least nobody's gonna slam him.
And then J-Lo is out there on the court, and she sees how well he's doing. Yeah. And kind of like cheers him on and
gets turned on by this for some reason.
I
by
don't
this
know
hairy
what's going on.
middle-aged
Well,
man.
that's the thing is Robin Williams is much older than Jennifer Lopez, and it's so improbable. Like, she's not attracted to him because he's young. She's not attracted to him because he's old as shit, like and hairy.
Honestly, when I was watching this again, I really forgot J-Lo was in this, and I was like, oh, is this what this movie's about? Because it seems like it's taking a really weird turn towards this like student-teacher relationship kind of vibe, and that's looks like it's what it's setting up, but then it just kind of abandons it in the next scene when J-Lo gets like sexually harassed by that 10-year-old kid who makes a gynecologist joke that's really awful. Do you guys
What's the
remember
joke,
that?
Mikey?
This kid in Jack's class is like, they're doing an assignment, and J-Lo is like, what do you guys want to be when you're a grown-up? And this kid is like, I want to be a gynecologist. And he's like, but not just any gynecologist, I want to be your gynecologist.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody take out your notebooks. We have a new assignment. And it's something I want you to put some serious thought into. I would like you all to write an essay on what you would want to be when you grow up. Be sure to include reasons for your choices and watch the spelling, punctuation, and grammar, please. You'll have to the end of the semester to finish it. Wait, write the date on the application. I forget. You too, George, the date.
I want to be a gynecologist.
If that's so, then I want good reasons why.
You are the reason why, Miss Marquez.
And J-Lo is like, WTF, don't ever say that to me again.
So
I'm a
inappropriate.
teacher. Yeah, literally at the end of the same day, Jack comes up to her with a bag of red gummy bears or something and asks her to go to the dance or something, and it's just super awkward. He runs out. He has an angina attack, and Pap laughed.
I with glee as he falls down the stairs. The old man, I'm like, yeah. Die, Jack. I was rooting for him to die.
Was there anything else I'm missing here, or is that pretty much it with the awkward J-Lo? J-Lo doesn't even really come back after that. That's kind of like her exit, and then we don't see her again until the graduation.
Right before Jack's gonna die.
Yeah, so like that plot line just kind of fades away.
Man, if somebody says something creepy like that to me, though, I'm gonna be scarce. See ya.
Deuces.
I'm curious as to what Mikey thinks the lesson of Jack is, because I think
I'm curious as to think how that kid knew what a gynecologist was at the age of 10.
Yeah, that's an equally important question.
Creepy parents.
Yeah, it could be. Go. I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just thinking about that for the past minute.
Lesson of Jack.
Just thinking about gynecology.
The lesson of Jack? Well, also, I've kind of brushed over, like, there's this butterfly theme going on in the background that Coppola is trying to pull off. Jack, towards the beginning of the movie, sees a monarch butterfly in its cocoon.
You know what would have been better? If with every scene that Jack's in, there's an orange, so you know he's going to die.
He kind of does that in this movie. It's a little bit like that. But monarch butterflies only live for like a month or something. They don't live very long, so I guess that's like the parallel here with Jack. And so every once in a while you'll see a butterfly. There's a butterfly in the treehouse scene. Also there was a scene where Jack's dad is like getting a phone call from Jack after the basketball game. Jack's super excited. He's telling his dad about the basketball game, and Jack's dad is a photographer and he's shooting porn. I don't know what. Do you guys know what he was doing?
I love how Coppola never misses a chance to objectify
what was he
women.
doing?
He's like, here's a good
what
chance.
was that photo shoot?
It's so weird. It was like they were on a carrot, I think, and they were like in bikinis.
Yeah, for no reason. Just random half-naked women on giant vegetables.
Speaking of graceful butterflies, what did you think of the nanny's appearance in this movie? Fran.
Louie! Oh, hi, honey. Oh, sweetie, the beef and brew only gave me 10 minutes off, so I gotta hustle.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie. Mwah. Hello. So where's the principal?
Oh, yeah, so, Fran Drescher shows up. Jack, tries to help out his friend Louie. And, Stevie, do you know what happens here in this scene?
Doesn't she hit on Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jack's trying to help out Louie by pretending to be the principal. And I guess this is probably my favorite scene in the movie, just because.
I'm trying to remember. Is there a car scene?
I remember lipstick. I don't know why with Fran Drescher.
I think my mind mentally blocked it out because of her voice. But keep going.
Yeah, so Fran Drescher is hitting on Jack super hard. Josh, do you know what happens?
No way.
Pap, do you know what happens?
She like picks him up, right? Like she gives him her number.
Yeah, she gives him a little matchbox of a bar in town, and I guess that's where all the single drunk people go.
She was working in a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens.
So I was trying to find a clip of Fran the nanny, her voice, because it's so beautiful.
And still remember kicked her out in one of those crushing scenes. What she to do, where was she?
There you go.
Out on her fanny. So over the bridge from Flushing to the
Your audio playbacks are trash tonight.
They
well,
are.
fine, fuck it. Go ahead.
Just put it in post.
I could be.
We'll do it live.
So he gets Fran's number, and then after that, Jack is invited to a sleepover at Louie's house, or where's this treehouse at? Just a neighborhood treehouse? Because I was wondering why Fran doesn't immediately recognize Jack as the vice principal when he shows up. But Jack goes to a sleepover in a really shitty built treehouse, and he buys nudie mags and beers or something for all these little kids. And it's a really weird look. Really weird stuff going on in this treehouse. Robin Williams shits into a coffee can and makes a kid smell it.
Oh, jeez.
And they eat a bunch of disgusting food, kind of like an initiation.
Keep in mind, Francis Ford Coppola can make any kind of movie he wants, and this is what he wanted to make.
I don't know. Pap, you literally chose the perfect punishment movie, because I was so angry watching this the entire time. There were so many other things I could have been doing.
To go back to Josh's question, I hold both belts. I am the champ, and I am the best at picking punishment movies, so I know exactly what's going to piss someone off the most. But you could have chosen the butthole movie still, so it's kind of your own fault.
That's true.
Butthole movie.
The Butthole movie's better than Jack. That's crazy.
If you guys have any questions about any scene, just ask me. I'm trudging through this as fast as I can because this movie's terrible.
Yeah, do we have any questions for Mikey? That feels like a good punishment thing to do.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Go for it.
I quickly went through old spoilers. I found 3 movies where there's basketball scenes.
Yes.
Breakfast Club.
Ooh, baby.
Boo.
Get a scholarship.
Black Panther. They're playing out in the playground, right?
They do play.
Yeah, that's like the best part. And then Van Wilder, of course.
Oh, yeah, the big pump-up speech.
My
Oh, that is
mistake,
true.
Josh. I apologize.
That's all I got. Sorry.
If you had to rank those basketball scenes, I think Van Wilder is the best out of all 4.
Oh, definitely. They have the NBA. They have the NBA players playing. Yeah, that's definitely the best.
I have a question for Mikey. I want to know what you thought of Robin Williams' performance outside of like the poor writing in this movie, and did it make you sad at all to see him die because he's like dead now? 2-part question.
At the end of the movie?
Yeah.
I think there's the one good performance he has as a 10-year-old is when he's talking to Fran, because he's doing stuff in between her comments that are like such a typical 10-year-old kid thing to do. He's checking out her boobs because they're just hanging out, and he's messing with his shirt, and he's like picking his nose whenever she's not looking. I thought that scene was funny. But the rest of the time, it's just like he's trying to act as annoying as possible, and that's what a 10-year-old is. Or his whole relationship with his mom is super weird. They're like super buddy-buddy, and they're playing hide-and-go-seek and running around the house. It's like really his only friend up until he goes to school. I don't know. I mean, this kid would be so weird in real life anyways. Robin Williams could act like anything.
He's no
and would be convincing.
He's no Tom Hanks in Big.
That's a good point.
This is a sequel to Big.
Big is so much better than this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Big's got problems too.
And
They
if
both
I
go
cared if he
sexual.
died at the end, no, I did not care that he died at the end. In fact,
Live to Spry 72.
In fact, I was pissed we didn't see him die at the end. That's my. He gets that old, and then we don't even see him die.
I like
That
how he's
should have been the
class
end of the movie.
valedictorian.
Well, he's a fully developed brain, but also I can't believe like you just wanted to see the life go out of his eyes, Mikey. I don't get it.
Well, this whole movie revolves around Tim aging 4 times faster than everybody.
They should have seen the process of him dying if they show him
You
being
make
born.
the monarch butterfly metaphor, and you hit on it so hard, and then you don't even. His whole life is leading up to death, and you don't even see him die. His life ends at
How would you have liked to see
graduation.
him die, Mikey?
I hope he falls off the back of that convertible. Is what I was hoping.
Yeah, how ironic would
They hit
that
the
be? He
freeway
dies
and-
of like an accident and not the disease.
They hit the freeway and he just falls
No.
off the back.
Pappy definitely wanted him to give that speech, have a heart attack, fall down the stairs, and die. That's what Pappy
No,
wanted.
I'm with Mikey. I think it would have been funny if that convertible just drove off a fucking cliff and all of the kids died. Thumb on the Lee style, baby.
So Jack brings Bill Cosby up to the treehouse, and they hang out, and
Uh-oh.
he goes through the initiation thing too, of eating all the really disgusting food that they cooked up for him. And then the treehouse falls down because the butterfly lands on a stick on the treehouse, and that was enough weight to send the whole thing crashing down. And I was really hoping Jack would have died in this treehouse accident.
Or at least became paralyzed.
Yeah, everybody lands very softly on the ground. And so we go back to the classroom. Oh, this is another assignment she had where she asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Jack is like in the back of the class, and he says to himself, what do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be alive. And I was like, holy shit, I guess that's kind of deep. But this is where Jack then hits on J-Lo and gives her the gummy bear bag. and then gets rejected when he tries to ask her out.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Alive.
We get the picture, George.
The heart attack, and his hairy belly flops out of his shirt when he falls down the stairs. And so they go to the doctor, and the doctor tells him that Jack's disease is getting worse, or he's just aging even more rapidly at this point. And so his mom, Diane Lane, wants to take Jack back out of school. And that kind of sends Jack into depression. So he kind of starts acting out, and he takes his bike over to the local watering hole where Fran Drescher wanted to go out with him. And Pep, do you know what happens here? You're
He
the
gets
only one that
wasted.
watches.
Yeah. And then he gets wasted, and then he makes out with the nanny, and then he gets beat up and thrown in jail.
What do you want?
I'll have a Shirley Temple with extra Marciano cherries.
Maraschino.
That's what I said, maraschino.
Get him a Madonna. You know what Madonna is?
No.
Shirley Temple without the cherry.
And then you think about it, this is all happening to like a 10-year-old. Like, this bar is the criminal
Yeah,
here,
it's-
not the kid. They got a 10-year-old loaded. They don't check his ID.
They
Fran
don't check his ID.
molested
I mean, they don't
him.
suspect
Yeah.
anything.
This guy
weird going
battered
on
a
with how
10-year-old, punched him in the face.
The cops throw him in an adult prison without like notifying his guardians. Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets his ass kicked, and he ends up in jail. And then, like Pap said, the nanny bails him out. And after that, Jack is out of school. He's not going in anymore. He's kind of doing the Bill Cosby tutor from home thing. And he's even acting out at home. He's not paying attention to Bill Cosby when he's trying to teach. He's really kind of checked out from school. And I wrote down, he knows the sweet release of death inches ever closer. So he's not really caring anymore at this point. And there's literally 20 minutes left in the movie at this point, because I kept checking how much time was left. And Bill Cosby gives him this pep talk. And I was like, okay, so what else is happening towards the end of this movie? There's only 20 minutes left. The kids are just screaming outside of his window to have Jack come outside and play, to get him out of his house and come back to school. His mom is like, he doesn't really want to hang out. He doesn't feel well. And there's this 5-minute montage of these kids running around screaming outside. His mom is chasing them away.
Sped up, too. They speed
Yeah.
up the footage, and it's like, they do this a couple times in the movie, and every time it's like getting extra shitty. It's just like, he's like, fuck it, let's just speed it up.
And it's literally 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, there's 15 minutes left in this movie. How is this ending? And there's kids still playing outside, and for some reason, Jack just decides that he wants to go back to school. He gets up, he shaves his pube beard, and gets ready for school the next day. We just fast forward again to graduation. We're literally at graduation after he shaves his face, and Jack is super old at this point. Turns out he was the smartest person in school. He gives the valedictorian speech as well.
Bullshit.
Everybody is there. J-Lo is there with her husband.
Bill Cosby is there.
Bill
Eyeing
Cosby's there.
the woman next to him. literally is.
Jack's parents are there. All of his friends are older. And then it pretty much just wraps up literally right after he gives his valedictorian speech. He hops on the back of his friend's convertible, and they drive off into the sunset, literally, and that's the end of the movie. And if there's any other questions you guys have, feel free
What would
to
have made
ask
this
them.
ending perfect is if they would have fast forwarded again, and it shows them at a nursing home, and they bring out a cake, and they're like, Happy 21st birthday.
Or if that last whole scene is actually just like Jack's DMT trip as he's like dying.
Or he starts going backwards like Benjamin Button and does the whole thing all over again.
Do you guys think that if M. Night Shyamalan directed this, there'd be like a guy hidden who's like the opposite of Jack, who's like actually going to live for like 400 years? It's like sequel, and he's like hidden kind of in it. Maybe that's just
yes, but that guy lives inside of Jack. That would be the
parasital. Yeah, he's a parasite.
Hey, M. Night Shyamalan, call us. We have a great movie idea for you.
I have one last question.
Anybody have his number?
Mikey, did you see The Fisher King?
No.
Okay, well it's become a bit of a tradition that we make the loser of the Oscar Pick'em show do a bad Robin Williams movie. Stevie, I'm assuming this is worse than The Fisher King, though, right? Because everything in this is horrible. I can't imagine.
Well, didn't Jordan do that?
But I mean,
Jordan had to do that.
Me, Jordan, and Carter did The Fisher King, and it made me think about it for a long time, whereas this, I just wanted to get out of my head as fast as possible. So yeah, The Fisher King is better than Jack.
There's nothing redeemable about this movie. There's like not even one cool shot that you can go back and say, oh, that was like a well done shot or anything. Everything is just shitty about this movie.
And it's
why? Okay, what is the reason that Francis decided to do this? Because I mean, he made like arguably two, like it's in like the top 2 greatest movies of all time.
Did you notice that it's dedicated to someone, Mikey? I didn't look into that, but there's like
to Gia?
It's his granddaughter.
That was his daughter or something.
Granddaughter.
Did he make a movie for her, I guess? But it's so terrible. Like he gave her this giant turd of a movie.
When you see a shooting star.
Apocalypse Now is for me, you get Jack, granddaughter.
I think it's so weird because it's not even an altruistic movie that's like to give insight and like spread awareness about a real disease. It's like a fake freaking disease. So it's not even for a cause. And like if you want to go the route of like exploring the sexuality of like someone who has a disease like this, maybe that could be interesting, but you're going to have to be rated R. It's going to have to be a movie like Raw or E2 Mama Tombian or something like that. Like I don't know if you guys have seen that movie.
IMDb
I've seen part of it,
lists this movie as a comedy, which nothing is funny in this movie. A drama. No drama happens because Jack doesn't die. There are no consequences.
They really should have shown him dying.
And a fantasy. So I guess the disease is the fantasy. Because it's not a real thing that could ever happen. I don't know.
What about the robots at the
You guys
beginning?
literally want to see like him on a ventilator taking his last breath. It doesn't make any sense.
I do.
Do you not know
With
these
a
people? It makes
Jumanji,
perfect
like
sense.
a gray Jumanji beard just taking his last
Okay,
breath.
here's the perfect ending. Yeah, he's on a ventilator. They pull the plug, and the new kid that they show off at the end, the new daughter who's regular, whispers in his ear, "I win," as he's dying.
Jeez.
And she's the one that can live to 400 years old, too.
Yeah. She's immortal. She never ages.
You know this movie's bad when you look at the movie poster and they have like glowing reviews on it, but there's no names attached to the reviews. It's like CBS Fox in Minneapolis. Very funny. Robin Williams is brilliant.
Or they're
WKII Radio, New York.
Or it's just the most basic praise.
No one would put their names on
quote,
it.
Great.
Is a movie.
Back at the Francis Ford Coppola wine bottle. Good movie.
Do you see the reviews on IMDb, like from the critics?
No.
It got a 75 by Real Views and says this feel-good motion picture is intelligently written and expertly directed.
Is there a name attached to it?
Yes. James Berardinelli. There's also a 0 rating, which I don't know if I've seen. A listless family comedy and bland morality primer.
The thing is,
there's some pretty good ones on here.
I'm looking up stats of this movie, and it says it cost $45 million and it made $58
On
million.
what?
That's what I'm wondering. There's no special effects. I guess the treehouse scene
Robin
was a real
Williams.
budget breaker in this one.
Rob Williams and Coppola.
Yeah,
probably
Williams
made
is a
lot of
huge
money.
star at this point. Ebert's.
Diane
I'm looking at
Lane's pretty
Ebert's
big.
view. Ebert fucking killed this shit. Like, he hated it. But he says, "Who is this movie made for?"
yeah.
And that's a good question. Like, it's not for kids,
Yeah.
really. It's not for adults.
Yeah, it's got a PG-13 rating only for sexual.
It's
for
only
sexual-
for that kid, Stevie. Nicks.
Yeah,
And beating up
for
10-year-olds.
sexual
yes,
references. Is the only reason it has a PG-13 rating.
but- Wow. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This
I
is
mean,
like one of the
Robin
weirdest
Williams
movies
was
I've ever
working his ass off at this point. Good God.
He just did Jumanji the year before, and like he had
And The Birdcage, which is
he
one of
had
my
just
favorite
played
movies.
a kid in an adult's body in Hook like 5 years before this. So this is like,
That's a bad movie, too.
whoa!
You suck.
Have you seen it lately?
I just watched it last week.
Don't age
2
well,
weeks ago.
friend. That's not
Did
why.
any of you guys click on that link
Ugh.
about how Robin Williams hated Jim
I
Carrey?
could-
Yeah, he's obsessed with
Carrey.
being
Yeah,
better than
like
him.
I guess he was like obsessed with him and like was super paranoid and got real pissed when Jim Carrey took the role of the Riddler after he turned it down. Then Jim Carrey
I
painted a
can
painting
see.
of him.
I can see why they'd hate each other. They're both annoying. They're both basically the same kind of comedian.
I think they're the
And
same kind of
they
comedian,
both-
and like they're so into their performance that you get this feeling that like in their personal life they're like really dark dudes. Like
Cokehead comedy.
Like probably not fun to have a cup of tea with either of them if they're not like on their
They
comedy
both
routine.
They both try to make the jump to drama too, and not.
Jim's is
like-
good, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truman Show and
23.
Yeah, but Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting is better than any dramatic role Jim Carrey ever did.
I don't know. Eternal
Eternal
Sunshine's pretty
I
good,
like
bro.
Eternal Sunshine more.
Haven't
than,
seen it. Haven't
yeah.
seen it.
The
You haven't
movie I
seen Good Will
seen.
Hunting. Did you see? You guys love Disney. Did you see this was a gift from Disney to Robin Williams?
I thought it was a gift from Robin Williams to Disney.
It says Robin Williams agreed to play the role of Jack as a result of Disney apologizing to him for going back on the deal they made with him to keep his name out of the marketing for Aladdin. Sounds like from Disney,
Terrible
but
gift.
either way, it's a bad gift. Yeah.
How did they pitch that? Here's like a just super soft script, and you'll get paid a few $1,000,000. Short shoots.
And Coppola. Yeah.
I feel like there was money
He
laundering
did
going on.
Jumanji, then The
with this movie.
Birdcage,
I
and
don't know.
just shit the
Dude,
bed.
no,
with Jack.
Mikey, I was literally just about to say that exact same thing. Is this a tax scam? Like, literally.
Dude, all movies have shady financial things going on. Like Avatar hasn't made money technically or something. Like, just a bunch of crazy financial stuff goes on to say that movies did not make any money, so they can do tax write-offs and stuff.
I feel like no one's
Super
trying.
weird.
You think this was like a dump?
Maybe. No one's trying hard.
Why
in
would
this
it cost
movie.
so much?
Yeah.
Besides the salary, it's
The
like
director
so-
and the actor.
I don't know. It's
Cosby legal fees. Maybe that was what
Oh,
cost so much.
Jesus. What? It's so bad that he's in this. It's so bad.
yeah. None of this
It
ages
doesn't
well.
look great.
None of this ages well.
Can you
at all.
imagine they use that in the courtexhibit against Bill Cosby?
That's just the
He was
roofie
in
on the
Jack.
cake that he's in this movie.
Oh, jeez.
Exhibit number A. Just
Do you guys have anything else for me, or that you want to say about Jack, or ask?
what was your favorite part?
Favorite part?
You said it
Yeah,
earlier, didn't you?
when he's helping out Louis with Fran Drescher,
Oh, I gotcha.
or I don't know.
Okay,
That's
let's go with this.
there's
What's your
nothing.
favorite Robin
You
Williams
stole my
movie?
question exactly what I was going to ask.
Good Will Hunting is the obvious choice. I can't really stand him.
Definitely.
Jumanji's good.
Aladdin.
but other than that,
Aladdin.
What about Flubber,
Aladdin's
bro?
good.
Flubber.
Oh,
Birdcage
no, I
is
never
so
watched it.
he's.
Birdcage
Mrs.
is
Doubtfire. I
amazing.
love
He's
Mrs.
just-
Doubtfire. It's hard to watch as you're older, though.
I just don't really care for him much.
Cadillac
But
Man.
he is
RV.
amazing in Good Will Hunting.
1 hour photo. Oh, that movie's terrible.
What about Death to Smoochie? I love that movie.
He's in the
Patch
Kenneth
Adams.
Branagh Hamlet, 1996. Brett, you love Hamlet?
Oh, God. No, I don't. No. It's my least favorite Oscar movie I've seen so far, by far.
So that seems to be it for Jack. This was the sequel to Apocalypse Now.
And big.
My rating for Jack is never watch it. Forget it existed. Don't ever buy this for anyone. Don't ever watch it. Just erase it from IMDb. And that was spoilers.
Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is podcastspoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme. Our number is 903-776-4507. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe on SoundCloud or iTunes. Please don't forget to leave us a review by searching for Movie Spoilers, clicking on the cereal bowl, select the Reviews tab, and leave us some stars and some words. That was Spoilers.
Robin Williams come out of her vagina